Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome along to the JACKOCAR Cup Series here for Season 4, Round 15, and we're here once again for the final race of the playoffs, the final race of the chase. We're going to decide our Championship 5 today. I'm your commentator, Owen White. With me is Jacko. It's a big day. We always look forward to this. And Monaco at night? What a challenge.
Hello everybody. Monaco on our big day out to decide Championship 5. Two places already decided, Owen. They were Jamie and Arnaud with a race win and a points advantage respectively, but technically 9 drivers still in the hunt for the title, and as you say, we are going to decide it at night around the streets of Monte Carlo. Of course, most famous for our very first season, Mr. John in the tunnel, and many other memories that come back with that. I'm excited, and it's going to be a classic JACKOCAR night, I hope.
Yes, we all hope that not only will we get a good race, but we'll actually have a trouble-free stream. We do have extra invites this week, so if it does go a bit tits up, we will be able to come back in, so we won't have to worry about losing any streams this week. But let's not worry about that. We are in the pit lane, ready to see our first drivers coming out onto the track, and the first one will be Corey. And we will hopefully have everything correct on the timing screens for once this week. That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it?
It would. Of course, Arnaud actually hosting this time, first time this season. Every other race this season have been hosted by me, other than one, which was done by OKK. And speaking of OKK, he's not here.
I think we might have a full race coming up here.
We always do when Arnaud hosts.
You were saying it earlier, look what you've done now.
It's not me, it's Arnaud, trust me. Just to go through the changes quickly, Corey is in for Jordan, Casper is in for OKK, and Yori is in for Risky. Stages on lap 10 and lap 20, they're the final 2 stages of the season. And 2 jokers are the 2 at the top, Kyle Smith and Arnaud de Grief.
So, looks like Corey isn't leaving the pits on time, so unfortunately our timings are a bit off kilter again, but we'll make do of it. Perhaps he has come out just on time, actually. I don't know. We'll count it. We'll count it.
Just left it late, that's all.
Yes. So, obviously this lap, you don't really need me to tell you that it's going to be a challenge for these guys tonight. And, well, something tells me that Ben, Iceman, based on what he's been doing this week, is going to be actually the one to watch, because he has turned up this week having sweated the game like you wouldn't believe. He's got a new wheel, and it's made him very, very fast right here. I think, what was he, top 100 in the world coming into this, so pressure on him, isn't it?
Yeah, 92nd to be precise, with a 1 minute 8.3, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's asking the French government to hang it in front of the Louvre, that lap, because it was that good. Of course, Ben, he won in Portugal, and he comes into this minus 12 behind Kieran for that Chase Championship, which there is a trophy for. Kieran, it is in his hands. I mean, it is Monaco, but it's in his hands. A decent finish sees him through to the Championship 5. But if Ben wins it, pulls something together, gets a pole, gets a stage win, you know, he's going to be there, isn't he? And of course, Thomas is minus 13, so only 1 point behind Ben. As Corey slows right down his outlap to get the best run possible up to the line. Owen, I shall let you give us a guide around the streets of Monaco.
So into Sandoval, you don't want to hit that wall, but unfortunately that's what Corey's just done on the exit. But as you know in JACKOCAR, you've just got to keep it rolling. A lot of cars will be hitting the walls tonight. Again, understeering up the hill. Corey, I think, was struggling to get a setup right before his session, and you can sort of see the evidence of that through the first sector. That's not going to be a competitive lap, and you can see he's not hitting a single apex at the minute. But he's still got all 4 wheels on the car, but look at that, he's having a shocker so far. Let's see if it gets any better as he exits the tight twisty section and gets onto some flat out road through the tunnel. The famous tunnel where, obviously, as everyone knows, Mr. John went flying about here. And you can see Corey's actually coming up behind someone on an idle lap. Hopefully won't get in their way. Yuri does move out of the way. And Corey luckily doesn't understeer through to back, because that's where you can have your big ones. And it looks like the lap's getting a little bit better, so perhaps at least his second and third sectors will have some competitive time, but that first sector is going to potentially cost him as he comes around that final corner. You can see for yourself, we're expecting Iceman to be about 4 seconds quicker than this nearly.
And you took the words out of my mouth there. The second half of that lap was much better from Corey. It's a shame he couldn't hook the first part up as we move on to Casper. Of course, one pole this season and a race win happened in France. This is a principality, but it may as well be France, Monaco, so can he repeat what he did on the same bit of land earlier in the year? It's Casper up to the line for his final appearance of the season, and it's P1 for the moment, but like you say, Iceman, when he shows up, will he show up with that extra 2 seconds he's got in hand?
Wow. He's left the session, Iceman, so that's not going to help. He's got to get himself into session once again if he wants to have a chance at this qualifying session. Of course, Kieran will be very happy to see him disappearing off our screens, but he has got time to get back. Not very long, mind you. He only really has about 3 minutes to get himself back in as Yuri heads through the middle sector. Reminds me a bit of the old Ferraris, this one, back in the early 2000s, this livery. Did he use this one before?
Yeah, it was his throwback from the Kia Series race, which he also used in the Cup Series, because I think he made a reserve appearance there as well. But the Dutchman comes through onto the straight. Where will this put him? It's going to be P2 for the moment. As we go to Deck, welcome back Deck, of course. Thought he was eliminated totally. Of course, you can still race. He just can't win the championship. Slow car in front of him.
And Iceman has returned, which could be so crucial. But as Deck heads through the middle sector, seems to be struggling a little bit for pace, but it is keeping it all on the track. And this will be a worry for some of these drivers that they aren't really getting the grip that they need around here, because obviously in the race, if we are to get different weather, which we are expecting, then they'll be really worried about this. But as Deck crosses the line, it is P4. Who's next then after that? We're going to have
Ben Harrop.
Yes.
Of course, he was meant to be, I don't know if he was meant to be watching or be at the Tottenham game, but it was cancelled. So here he is instead in JACKOCAR in the Cup Series. Of course, he is also eliminated, one of the 11 drivers who can't win it. As we come through Casino Square and over that bump on the left-hand side, which some drivers in-game, they do avoid it. In real life, they always avoid it. It does make a difference to your lap as well. But into Lowe's hairpin, and tidy-looking line through there. Nice purple and orange livery for Ben tonight as we head into the tunnel, Owen.
All looking pretty decent so far for Ben. He just has to keep it on the road, and this should be a decent lap time for him. A driver who's struggled of late, hasn't he? Just trying to get to grips still, perhaps. But, well, he might be getting there. And we'll see how this lap ends up for him. Oh, he's cut the corner. Ooh. Still got to finish the lap. Somebody was going to do it. Yep. Because he nearly put it in the wall as well. That's the thing. If you make a mistake around here, the walls aren't too far away. So even if you do invalidate your lap, you've still got to make sure you get to the end of it. And where would this have put him? It would have put him, well, P3 probably, but didn't happen for him.
Yep. So and here comes the COVID kid. Sorry to interrupt. Camo Babbo to the line, goes P2. Of course, he literally tested positive for COVID this morning, but still racing, which is good to see.
We might be able to investigate whether having COVID improves your ability as a racing driver tonight. But yes, interesting that he's still racing, and well, he does have the pace. Only 4/10 off P1, so it's not too bad. As we watch Vitinho heading through, and he's one of those sort of big what-ifs, I think, this season. I mean, he missed out on playoffs by so little, and after that, it just never really came to sort of fruition for him, and I suppose he's got his eyes on next season already, just trying to get through the end of this now.
Absolutely. Of course, he missed out on count back to Pete when Jordan overtook him, and it was that single overtake which knocked him out of the playoffs before they even begun. And then he missed his home race in Brazil with no PSN, but he comes here to Monaco and goes P4 for the moment. but looking forward to seeing what he can do next season.
Here's Jess, heading through the chicane, keeping it all on the road. I don't think this is a competitive time at the minute, as you can see. She's already hitting, well, Iceman's time before she even gets through the final corner. This is going to be in the 1 minute 13s. We could be on for one of the biggest gaps from front to back that we've seen, probably since the early days in Season 1, when that sort of was the norm to have big gaps. But, yeah, Jess has gone P7. Thomas, he needs a big performance tonight, and it is actually do or die for him now. I wonder if he's going to take any major risks, because not only has he got to make sure he beats Kieran, but if Iceman is as quick as he needs to be, then Thomas, he will need a bit of a miracle tonight, won't he?
He will, just trying to rediscover his form from Season 1 with those 2 race wins and a Championship 5 appearance, but 1 race away from making it to the Championship 5 again, but it's all against him this time around, and I still can't decide who is going to win in the chase. It's either going to be Kieran or Iceman. I don't think Thomas has enough this season, but credit to him for still being a part of it, and still being a part of these 9 drivers who can win it at this stage of the season. As he comes through the swimming pool section, so committed through there. Left, right, and then right, left as he comes up to the back of Jess, who may interrupt this lap, and this is going to be right in the way.
Jess.
Into the wall goes Thomas.
I mean...
And that has absolutely ruined his lap there.
I mean, she can see him coming. And she knows that he's a championship contender. So why get in the way? I don't get it. But well,
what a
that's
shame.
Thomas's lap ruined, and that cost him a good 2 seconds. And well, that 2 seconds could have put him up to P4, even P3 perhaps. But well, not now. So well, he's going to need some major performance. Oh! Well, that is a shock, isn't it? We have just lost Iceman. Iceman will not be able to do his time. He was on his lap when he DC'd. And that could be a real problem in the race as well. That's not maybe the last we're going to see of this tonight. That's the second time he's DC'd so far. As we watch Kieran, who's just been handed his golden ticket.
Yeah, I mean, Ben will be wishing he was back in Leeds at his university with his, I don't know, what is it, 100 megabyte internet. But anyway, his main rival comes up to the line, Kieran, P2. It's in his hands, Owen. What did I say just now? Iceman needs to get back in this and deliver a miracle result if he wants to go to the Championship 5 next week.
That is really going to make Iceman fume because of just how hard it is to overtake. He's last. He's last now.
Yeah.
So this is desperate times for him.
In fact,
I'll tell you what, though,
on the leaderboard there, there's 7 minutes and 9 seconds his time.
Yeah. It's not really going to help him out very much, is it? But look, we know he's quick right here. We've said it all night, and we know he'll be quick in the race. All it means is that we're going to see potential for a special performance. But let's see. Here's MK Bourne. He likes a good street track here and there, and he's been stat padding some points recently, and he's up into P4, so not a bad lap from him. He's getting his form back up a little bit, you know. I wonder if next season he'll be back up in that Championship 5, or at least up there in the playoffs.
He's someone that can definitely challenge round of 6. Before he starts to struggle. Just he missed those 4 races, which really impacted him. Here's someone else who is out of form. Pete Knighton, Season 1 champion. Will he come back in Season 5 and try and regain the title that he lost?
Ooh. Very slidey, of course. This is not a track he likes. The record number of pit stops, and he's so close to losing it. And, well, if he can just get around this lap, he's certainly living life on the edge, isn't he? But at the minute, it looks like it'll still be somewhat of a decent time. It should be potentially in the top 5. Yeah, he's gone P4.
Yeah.
So not too
style
bad.
As well.
Easy indeed.
Nice bit of driving.
Good few wee drifts in there, wasn't there?
We like that. Jamie Griffiths then next, winner from Throwback Week at Monza.
That's cutting the corner, and he knew it as well. He knew it as well. That's real unfortunate for him, but look, he knew it. He knew what he was doing, and he thought, well, let's see if I can get away with it, and he couldn't. It means, though, we can put the focus on whatever this livery's supposed to be. Is it what? Is it like a golden salmon now, is it? It's like somebody you
I
see in
think so.
in a Mr. Beast video, where, you know, just eating those expensive things. That's a very odd colour scheme. But he needs it to be a really good lap, because Cam, Mr. Consistent, finds himself in quite a difficult position tonight, because he, having been so consistent all season, being up there all the time, is now minus 12 in his yard divide. So realistically, he needs to be finishing right at the front tonight, and even then, it might not be enough. So he really does need the performance of his career.
Don't forget, Owen, he did 13 races inside the top 10, missed one for Thanksgiving, and then DNF'd in the other, or finished outside the top 10. I can't quite remember. He's been there all season long. He's third on points overall, like regular points. And he finds himself in this situation. It's unfathomable. And it's a poor end of the lap as well. It's not good enough. It's only P9.
I can't believe it. We might be watching the end of his championship.
And of course, he has said as well, like, next week will be his last race in JACKOCAR.
Yeah.
So this is the end of a beautiful story, but it's going to end in nightmare fashion.
Well, it's a long way to go still. The race is yet to happen, but again, that's another magical performance that someone's going to have to pull out of the bag. There's going to be a lot of drivers out of position, really, to where they need to be tonight. Red Matt doesn't look like he's going to be one of those people, though. He's gone fastest.
Oh, he's gone pole.
And that is even worse if you are sitting where Cam is sitting, because that's the only guy ahead of Cam who's not in the playoffs yet, and he'll be looking to break it himself too. So that is a really tricky situation as we watch Jake, the man under pressure tonight, because Kyle Smith, he's almost guaranteed to go through. So Jake, he needs to focus on Cam and Red Matt.
Yeah, and he would have seen that little bit of purple text come up at the top of the screen that said Red Matt P1. How much pressure do you want to put on this man coming into it +3 across the bubble? Jake, he almost won a couple of races this season. He's been on pole in Russia, but he hasn't quite delivered the full package just yet. Is tonight the night? Jake, up to the line. What can he do?
Ooh.
Oh, it's P2.
Not bad, but could be better if he gets a good launch off the line, depending on where he is, though. If he can get ahead of Red Matt, that will be the first major hurdle cleared. And I don't think Kyle is going that quickly at the minute compared to those top two, so they are staying 1-2 for now.
Oh, he's hit the wall.
Oh, that's not going to help.
With it.
That could drop him so many positions. I mean, he could still theoretically lose out tonight, Kyle. Very unlikely. And P5.
It's not bad.
Not too bad.
Will do. What about Jamie Wright, last week's winner?
Yeah, it's getting tense already, this, isn't it? You wouldn't think it would be.
It is.
But even in the qualified session, look at him ignoring the bump. He doesn't need to worry about it. He is just going to take every risk out there, make the shortest line possible. And, yeah, most wins this season on 5. He would love to make it 6 tonight.
God. And as well, coming into this, Canada and Monaco, 2 tracks he absolutely detests. Jamie Wright, 1 win in the bag, hits the wall, but can he do well in Monaco here? It doesn't matter, but surely another win. That won't do him any harm going into Championship 5, would it?
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, if he gets another win, he'll be on some superb form at the right time, but he's hit the wall. Might not affect him too much, but he's hit the wall again. So he has damage, but still, he's keeping it in a straight line. It means Red Matt and Jake are still 1-2. As Jamie, he would have almost certainly gone P1 if he hadn't hit the wall. He's gone P5. Is Arnold gonna spoil the party here? Let's see how he gets on as he heads for the middle sector. Yep. Nearly hits the wall, but he has kept it all facing the right direction. Very slidey though.
Good save. Of course, this is the all-time pole sitter in Cup Series. So committed through swimming pool, and he's still absolutely on it. Oh, now, how many walls do you want to hit? It's still valid, though.
Oh, he's not going to get it.
Sir Anthony Noakes. Is he? Oh, come on, Arnold. What can he do?
If he gets
most poles this season,
I'd be amazed. Oh, he's gone P2, though. He's split Red Matt and Jake. So Red Matt, he'll have punched the air at that. That's pretty much the ideal situation for him.
Yeah, that's 1 point. A 1 point gained. Red Matt is now -2 to Jake.
We've got some race in prospect here, folks. This is going to be an absolute JACKOCAR vintage classic race. And I tell you what, when you see the weather on this starting grid, I have a feeling you might be pleasantly surprised if what people are saying in our chat is true and correct. But yes, it is Red Matt on pole from Arnaud. And then we've got Jake, Casper and Kieran, who's sitting pretty there in P5 for his chase campaign, which is very encouraging for him as well. So yeah, he'll be feeling very comfortable with that, with Thomas and Iceman in 17th and 18th place, Cam in 14th. It means that Red Matt, he's got a pretty simple task tonight. Just keep that P1.
Yeah, win and you're in, and you give yourself a shot at the title next week in Texas. That is also Red Matt's 4th pole of the season, and what a time to do it as well. Of course, Monaco, one of those tracks where being on pole is the best place to begin.
So we have Red Matt then on pole. Not the first time we've seen that this season. Arnaud in 2nd place with Jake 3rd, Casper 4th, Kieran 5th. Then we've got J-Luke, Kyle, Camuelu, Pete and MK Bourne. Then outside the top 10 you're going to have Yuri, Vitinho, Corey, Cam, Deck, Jess, Thomas, Iceman, Ben and Jamie. Only 3 drivers didn't set a time. Iceman, the big shock, having had so much pace coming in, he DC'd on his lap though, and it means that he is going to have to do something very creative to get his way up the field in the race. And it's a race that is going to start in what condition? Let's see. It is raining, folks.
Full wet.
Oh. I'm not sure full wet. Perhaps it looks like it's like that midpoint. I wonder if they might actually be on interest for this. But either way, it's a wet start at Monaco. I mean, what a way to decide our Championship 5 this is going to be.
I tell you what, the tension that will be running through these drivers. You've got to think about Jake. Red Matt's going to be nervous on pole. Ben coming through from the back. I mean, he'll have some pressure taken off of him now. So he's just got to drive and hope his pace comes good. Has he practiced in the wet, though? Who knows? Thomas will be upset with Jess blocking him in qualifying. And then you've got Cam, got it all to do, so no pressure on him. He's just got to hope for some miracles. Kyle, like we say, he's near enough in there, but there's a lot to decide. If I was in this race, I would want to beat Arnaud or Jamie, because you know you're safe and through to next week. And there's Kieran, of course, all in his hands. Inters for the beginning of the Monaco Grand Prix. Owen Wyatt, talk us round the formation lap.
Well. This is something that some of the drivers will surely not have been expecting. Finding intermediate conditions on the outlap. And I'll tell you what, this first lap is going to be high drama, because a lot of people were struggling with the understeer. Look at Red Matt into the wall on the outlap. Wow. He can't keep it in a straight line. So imagine these guys having to go full pace. Turn 1 is so tight. The run up the hill is so tight. Someone breaks traction. There's no ghosting here. You could see some serious accidents happening in the championship context. Red Matt, as long as he just keeps it on the road, should be able to pull away from all this. But Jake, he's going to have to do something to try and be aggressive, because right now as it stands, he'd be dropping out, and that's not what he wants really to happen. He really does need to get himself up there. And as we said with Kieran, how aggressive is he going to be? Because he knows that Thomas and Iceman are so low down, and that they not only can beat him, but they'd have to beat him by a massive distance. So really, as long as Kieran doesn't make any mistakes and stays in the race, he'll be through as well. It's pretty straightforward if you're Red Matt and Kieran. They're the two that can sort of seal their places here. But, well, let's see. We've never really been known for doing what's expected of people, especially in these sorts of conditions, and especially with this sort of league format, with the mandatory 2-stop, remember. This might go to dries later on, but regardless, it needs to go to a 2-stop. There's no jokers, is there? So
there's 2 jokers. It's Arnaud and Kyle. And
that would have been useful to mention before.
I did, you just didn't listen, but it doesn't matter.
Oh.
The only disadvantage Kieran has got is if Ben does have a crazy race and ends up leading and winning it, or being in a points advantage, he wins on countback, does Iceman. Thomas doesn't have that luxury, where Kieran could beat him on countback. and Red Matt has the advantage over Jake, but not Kyle, because he has the one win, but Kyle's finishing results have been better than Red Matt overall this season. So that's how it is. Jamie and Arnold are through, so we're not worried about them. But prepare for chaos. Strap in, sit down, hold on, and get the popcorn ready, because it's going to be one of those nights. Owen Wyatt.
39 laps of this. Can you think of any better way to spend your Thursday? All 5 lights are on. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing in Monaco. Looks like a decent start for a few, but there's already accidents happening off the start-finish line. Who's going to make it down to turn 1? Red Matt is into the lead. Looks like Kieran's going side by side. Just needs to keep himself all facing the right direction as they all tiptoe their way through turn 1 and all the way up the hill as well. Is anyone going to go for any moves? Is anyone going to end up sliding off? They've only had one sighter lap in these conditions, but it looks like all the main drivers are keeping themselves in play. And it looks like Iceman has made the best start out there, along with the likes of Corey. 3 places gained. There's been an accident. Camo Babo's in the wall. And they're all having to tiptoe their way through this to make sure they don't get involved. It looks like Patino's having contact. I'm focusing on these guys further back because that's obviously where the likes of Cam and Iceman are. As Cam's into the wall! He's going to lose a lot of time with this, but crucially, I don't think he picked up any damage. But he's dying a few positions. Iceman's going side by side. He's made 5 places already on this opening lap,
Wow.
Jacko.
Unbelievable stuff from Iceman, doing exactly what he needs to do. And next up is teammate Pete Knighton, so you'd imagine he will get out the way for him, but it's going to get a lot more difficult when you get into the midfield. The likes of Camo Babo and Vitinho and Corey all fighting for pride more than anything. But good stuff from Iceman as Camo's into the wall and picks up some damage. You were right about Cam as well. No damage picked up for the American driver at the hairpin.
Iceman being so careful not to hit the back of his teammate right now, who surely will end up moving for him, and he does. He's into the pit lane, in fact. Now, you've got to have at least 2 wheels over the yellow line by the time you get to the zebra crossing at the pit lane entry, or else it'll be deemed, dangerous and you'll get penalised. So that's something the drivers have to worry about as well.
Oh.
Iceman now is into 5 seconds of clean air. That's how much field spread there was due to the accidents, but he's in a decent slot now, which means we can focus back on the race leaders, who are still Red Matt and Arnold.
I was just watching this before you joined us, Owen. Red Matt is all over the place. He's struggling so much. Arnold, of course, he's been here and won it before. That was in Season 1 that Arnold picked up his win. But Red Matt holds the lead for the moment. I don't quite understand the raindrops in the tunnel on Arnold's T-Camp, but they are there. That's Codemasters for you. And Red Matt negotiates a couple more corners. Progress on Iceman. He remains P11 for the moment.
Look how quick he's gaining, though. He's gained over a second on this lap so far.
Yeah, Vitinho and Mike are fighting there.
This is, Khan did have to pit. Now, that's not necessarily the end of the world, because he is in some clean air now. And if we get a safety car for a yellow flag, like, for instance, what we've got now, Camo's in the wall, that could easily be a safety car. It could get Cam back into a strong position, but no, that front wine's being left there. That could cause punctures, so drivers have got to be aware of that. As Corey now makes his pit stop, Iceman's heading round the last corner, so keep getting in positions. And if his pace is as good as it looks, will this be purple? He sort of needs it to be going purple, and it isn't exactly, but still, he's making the progress. But I'm sort of hoping for his sake that those purple laps will start coming through.
Yeah, yellow flags again. Is that Camo and Deck at the back?
Yeah, Camo obviously with no front wing here. And you can see how much of a struggle this is for him. Just trying to get back to the pits, and it'll be a second front wing in 2 laps for Camo here. So that's not really great form. But
it's not like you can pit onto the hards to go to the end either. He will pit.
You'll end up, if you have too many accidents, going back onto intermediate you've already been on. That's sort of how it's going to work. And I tell you what, Red Matt is happy that there's no DRS here, because I agree with you, Arnold's all over him, and Red Matt, well, it can struggle all he likes, I suppose, as long as he keeps it out of the wall.
I was speaking to Arnold earlier today. He's saying because he's already through, he's not going to do anything stupid to the other championship guys. He wants that to be a natural fight. So unless there's a very clear overtaking opportunity on Red Matt, Arnold will sit there. As he has a moment coming out that final corner, and another fastest lap from Red Matt. I think he's growing into it as Jake now sets the fastest lap, and he leads from Casper. I think Casper playing a rear gunner for Jake, doing his best to get him into the Championship 5 next week. But as it stands, Red Matt goes through with Kyle, Jamie, Kieran and Arnaud.
And Kieran is doing his job perfectly right now. He's just keeping himself in position, staying away from the car in front, just keeping himself in P5. He's come here knowing that all he has to do is hold on to this. And, well, you can see the gap behind Jamie. It's nearly, it's 15 seconds here to Iceman. So those top 7 can just sort of sit there and do their own thing. Safety cars might get involved, but for now, Kieran can just stay chilled out, and that's going to help him get to the end of this thing.
Yeah, and Kieran's never had to be so wise. Oh, I've just seen Yuri's car drive into the Mediterranean.
Yes, I'm seeing this as well. Let's have a look at on board with him, shall we? Or is he's returned, does he? Well, I mean, no, he's not. Okay, what is happening? Oh my god. He's going underground now. He's finding the underground secret raceway. Oh, that is incredible. Oh, he's back out again. Safety car. That's Camo Babo in the wall and MK Born somewhere else, possibly in the same place. Now, who's this having to stop? Look, there's a few cars having to get through this. Iceman's been blocked. Iceman's been blocked in. He stopped on the track. And what's gone on there? What a mess. But I mean, I suppose that Thomas has got in front of him, which could be crucial. But yeah, we've lost 2 cars. MK Born, goodness knows where that happened, but we definitely know Camo had an accident.
Yeah, so Thomas being in front of Iceman by 1 place draws them level on points, but of course Iceman still has the win in his back pocket, so Thomas would need 1 more position. It appears to be the other Ben has benefited from that, and he is now P8, and he's made a pit stop, I believe.
Oh.
So is he net race leader, minus Arnaud and Kyle?
I don't think he has made a pit stop, actually.
Has he not?
No. He's on the same age of tires as the rest of them.
Apologies.
So Vitinho's actually the first one, but he's got a penalty. I mean, mind you, by the end of the race, more people will have penalties, but still. Cam would be the highest driver to have pitted and not actually, it got a penalty. So that actually, like I say, has worked out for him in the end. His little accident on the first lap, he's now putting himself into position, which is gonna make Red Matt so happy.
Yeah, sorry, Owen. Mike is actually blaming Cam for the DNF there.
Oh.
In chat, I've not seen any more than that.
Well, that would be quite surprising, but well, we'll have to wait and see. This is going to be a long safety car, by the way, because you'll notice I'm watching Corey right now. He's last, and Red Matt is nearly up to him. So that's going to take a good 3 or 4 laps to get all into position, because you can't push that hard out here in the wet to catch up.
Sorry, I'm just looking at something. Newgarden's asking.
Thomas is out of the championship. Thomas is out of the championship. He's binned it under the safety car, and look at how much debris there is. He's stacked it on the way up the hill. What a surprise! That's a shocker. Now, has he hit someone? Has he just got up there himself? Either way, it's his front left that's been broken. He's broke the front left and front right, so I reckon he might have hit someone,
Interesting. So 9 become 8, and that's 1 less championship spot to decide. I was just going to say that Newgarden wanted to see the tyres, but
I think we've got some glitches going on here, and, well, there's no damage been done, but Iceman's car, as you can see... Oh! Well, he's just taking out Kieran. What on earth is happening there?
Kieran has no damage, though.
It's so bizarre. But penalties are being handed out. It's a good thing we're catching this on stream, because at the very least, we can have these penalties removed. But what is it going to happen again? Is Iceman just going to burst through other cars? How utterly bizarre and strange this is. It's probably not a laughing matter in terms of the championship, mind you, but you got to admit, it was quite funny.
That would have been a right old scare for Kieran there, thinking his front wheel was about to come off.
Yeah, he was sent airborne, like, he flew into that wall. I was on board with him, it's just the bind flew. He would have had no idea it was coming.
Iceman has left the session again.
Yeah, and that's not really a surprise, is it? That would explain why his car's mucking about.
And then just a quick note on Corey while he's 1 lap down. He got held up in the pits by 2 minutes. For 2 minutes, sorry. Thank you, Dexter, for that information. But it leaves us with 17 runners. Red Matt has led every lap thus far, and Iceman's car, whether he's here or not, he wants to win.
He'll get a pleasant surprise when he comes back.
Thomas confirming that it was Iceman's car that put him in the wall as well.
Oh, so he's one of the drivers then that was hit by him, but this time it actually damaged him. That's interesting then. Ben says he's trying to retire the car, by the way, so this would be Kieran by default winning the chase. So Iceman's just rejoined, so we'll stick on this. As safety car's about to come in, so Jess and Corey will not get to catch up. But this is an important moment here, is Iceman. Let's see what he's going to do.
I fully expect him to come into the pits if he's going to retire the car. He'll be an honest guy. Obviously, normal circumstances, you can't come in right behind the safety car, but I do expect Ben to do so here.
No, Red Man, he's got to get this restart right.
And he doesn't.
He doesn't come in, so Iceman maybe, he's just realised he's P5, he thinks, oh no, 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 no! That's unbelievable. Now, that might need a lobby restart, you know, because it's wiping out people now. Oh, no, no! Jesus.
What is going on here?
I mean, you can see it for yourself. I think Jacko just... I know I don't run the show, but... the game's crashed anyway. Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one. Oh, what a terrible game this is. Oh. For your information, people, I had contacted Codemasters on Twitter last week, you know, showing them that the game constantly crashes on us, and they do absolutely nothing about it. And here we are this week, desync, games crashing, people driving into the Mediterranean. Sort it out! We'll be back in just a minute. Assuming, of course, that the PlayStations still work after this. But, yeah, fingers crossed, we'll be back after this. And as always, apologies. But it's not our game, we don't make it.